Our show is now on Stitcher. Listen to us on your iPhone, Android phone, Kindle Fire, and other devices with Stitcher. Stitcher is smart radio for your phone. Find it in your App Store or on Stitcher.com. Stitcher Smart Radio, the smarter way to listen to radio.
Pray with me if you will. Come, Holy Spirit, come. Come with the fire and burn. Come with the rain and cleanse. Come with the wind and breathe. Come with the light and reveal. Convict us, convert us, consecrate us. Claim and call us with your care and concern, O God, until we do something. Amen.
Test. There I am. Technology. As this is World Communion Sunday, I want to read something that was written 37 years ago as a sermon. This is part of the collection of sermons of the late great prophet William Sloane Coffin, who served the Riverside Church in New York for a number of years. Just so you know something about him, he was a decorated soldier in World War II who had a change of heart when he was the chaplain at Yale and encouraged young men to burn their draft cards. That's how far he changed his life. This was written for communion, and he says in part of the text, "Today is Worldwide Communion Sunday, so let us note that no act in the Christian life is more universal. A communion service always removes us from the loneliness of our egos to find us a home in the community. And the community is worldwide. When Christ said, 'This is my blood,' I always say love, 'this is my blood poured out for the many.' The many is not exclusive. It doesn't mean many, but not all. It means the totality, which is many." And then picking up, he said at the same time, no act is more intensely personal. So let us end where we begin on a more intimate note. God cares for us all as if we were all but one, but also for each of us as if God had nothing else to care for. God's gifts are given to us one by one. There is a story, which is really an Easter story, but I want to tell it now because each communion service means our own resurrection. A certain man was traveling on a train in the hill country of West Virginia. Next to him, by the window, was another man who seemed unusually distraught. When the first asked if there was something wrong, the second explained, though rather hesitantly, that for the last 10 years he had been a prisoner in a federal penitentiary. Now he was heading home. As he and his family were practically illiterate, there had been little communication between them during the last 10 years. But a week before, he had dictated a letter saying that he would understand if they did not want him home again. I've read this many times, and that's news to me. If they did not want him home again. If they did, they were to tie a white ribbon around the bow of the last apple tree in the orchard, which he knew was visible from the tracks. There was no ribbon. If there was no ribbon, he would go right on to the station and continue on his way, and they wouldn't have to worry about him ever again. Now, as the train drew nearer and nearer, understandably, he was getting more and more nervous. So the first man volunteered to watch for him. They switched seats. As the train rounded the next to the last curve, the ex-convert heard his new friend sing out, "Look, look." And he did, and the whole tree was covered with white ribbons. It's easy to win victories. What is hard is to win defeats, especially self-defeats. But God makes this possible. All this from God, who through Christ reconciled himself to us. I hope that each of you, these are still his words, but I'm reading them as if they're mine. I hope that each of you, through the communion service today, may experience God's forgiveness as this convict did through his family. And he goes on to say, and as I was lucky enough to do last year through the search committee that brought me to this pulpit, I'm not sure why that touches me, because it's communion, because it speaks of what is at the heart and root of faith, forgiveness. Most of us can give forgiveness. We can't receive it. Forgiveness is something that people can do easily, but to know that we are forgiven, and I tell you, God forgives us completely, loves us honestly, fully. It is my prayer that you come to understand this fully and embrace it.
Thank you for listening to the First United Methodist Church podcast, which is recorded live every week at 4832 Tahunga Avenue in North Hollywood, California, and delivered by Dr. Joey McDonald. For more info on us, please check out nohofumc.com or find us on Facebook and Twitter under NoHoFUMC.